Hey, everybody. Have you ever wondered what builders really think about working with realtors? Have you ever considered the benefit of working with a realtor when you're building a new home? Today, I got a builder's perspective. Enjoy!
All right, my friend Jean Morency, sales trainer with Perry Homes. Jean, you and I have talked a bunch about how new home sales has become a huge part of my business.
Right.
I think about 5 out of the last 6 buyer transactions I've done have been new construction. Um, you know, give me the truth about builder sales reps and what they think about working with realtors.
So I guess it depends on the builder, really. I mean, I'm going to tell you what smart builder sales reps think. The way I always describe it to my team is, you should, if you have a great realtor network, it's almost like you're a broker, right? In the sense that, if you have a great relationship with realtors, and you have a good relationship with realtors, you can only reach a certain amount of people, right? So the only people I can ever personally reach are people who I have personally prospected. So why not have realtors prospect with and for you? So if I'm thinking correctly, I might be able to reach 100 people, but I can reach 10 realtors and each of them can reach 10 people. So that's 100 right there. So, when I hear stories, and you and I talk about plenty of times where it seems like there's an issue between the realtor and the sales professional, I just don't get it, because we're really on the same team.
Right.
We're really on the same team. And if both parties are acting, number one, in the best interest of who they're representing, but at the same time, hey, let's just get this deal done, it usually works out well. So a realtor, in my opinion, is a sales professional's best friend.
Right. So I've only had it burn me once, and had kind of a bad experience once with a builder, but for the most part, it's been very, very positive. For buyers, a lot of times buyers come and say, well, that salesperson's so nice at the builder. They're helpful. Why do I need a realtor? What do I need you for? And the easy answer for me is that salesperson is there representing the builder. They're there looking after the best interest of the builder. If you don't have somebody representing you in the transaction, who's looking out for your best interest?
Right.
Because it could be a little bit one-sided, I think, and sometimes buyers have a hard time seeing the value of having representation.
And I think that's the easy, smart, great example. But let's go even one further. You ever had a toothache before?
Sure.
So when you had a toothache, did you take out your own teeth or clean it yourself?
I did not. I let the dentist do it.
Right, and this isn't a shameless plug for my dad, who's Houston's greatest dentist.
Say, Dr. Morency, dentist.
Dr. Morency, exactly. But the reality is that as a home buyer, you are only buying a home once every 7 years on average right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a realtor, they're going through this every single day, every single month. So the reality is that there's going to be things that you don't even know all the questions to the test. And it's not that the salesperson doesn't want to help you. Of course they want to help you, but there might be some things that are important to the buyer that may not be important to the salesperson, and not in a malicious way, but every buyer is a little bit different. Having a professional who has your best interest, who understands all the questions on the test, can help you. It's only to your benefit to have a realtor, because they're able to help you think of questions that you won't think of until it's too late down the road.
So what about the question that I've had before where they said, well, that builder's going to pay you 3%. If I just keep you out of the deal, won't they just knock 3% off the sales price?
Well, my question would be, if that's what they're going to do, then what else is the builder going to do to you as a consumer? Perspective is that if the realtor is bringing the client to the builder, why should the builder take the realtor off of the deal? There's a symbiotic relationship. At least it should be a symbiotic relationship where the builder, the realtor is almost like a marketing arm, where
Right.
the realtor is bringing the builder clients, and because the realtor is bringing the clients to the realtor, it's almost like they're getting a referral fee.
Sure.
So if after you've brought me a client, if I'm willing to take the realtor off the deal to save the buyer 3%, as a buyer, I would just feel uncomfortable, because what other corners are you taking? What other stuff have you done to save money? That would be my question.
Right. So, we're talking about the beginning of the process here, where you're first having contact, first talking about the home, and then going into negotiating. One of the greatest values that we add is that, we negotiate for a living. It's what we do. And we're able to have conversations and, like you said, ask questions of the builder that they may never even think to ask, as well as being able to negotiate and work things into the transaction that they might not ever ask for. So, having that person on your side to, guide you through that part of the process, I think typically you end up getting a little bit better deal overall.
Yeah, I think there's a possibility of getting a better deal, but I think what's really the possibility is being able to structure the deal in a better way. So, example, if I have a realtor who's working for me, one of the things is, as a buyer, I should tell my realtor everything.
Right.
They should know my situation. And if they know my situation, when they're negotiating, they can structure the deal that is more beneficial for my situation. Give you a small example. Um, if you're a cash heavy buyer,
Mm-hmm.
right, maybe you don't need money for closing costs, right?
Right.
But if you're someone who, maybe this is your first time buying a home, or maybe, you're really stepping up your home, and you need money to come to closing, it might be worth it to you to raise the sales price by $5,000 or $10,000 to get
And
five
put
or
that
ten thousand dollars towards closing costs,
right.
because that's $5,000 or $10,000 that you don't have to bring with you. And again, your realtor who has a relationship with you is going to be able to structure that deal the best way with you. And also, the realtor has access to information just based on their job that you may not have access to. Of course, anybody can go look on MLS and see what homes are for sale, but a realtor can see what a similar home sold for. And again, in anything in negotiations, it's the person who has the most knowledge wins, right? So
Right.
again, as a buyer, if I went in without a realtor, I may think I'm a great negotiator, but the funny thing to a sales professional is when a buyer comes in and asks for a price that is honestly ridiculous. That
Right.
just tells me you really don't know what you're talking about, because you're asking for something that, my first question is, how did you come up with that number?
Right.
And the answer most of the time is, it just sounded good.
Right.
I thought what I wanted and I rounded down.
Right.
So having a realtor who could, of course, is going to try to get you the best deal, but they're going to give the best realistic deal. That is if you really want the house.
Right.
Because the other problem is, without a realtor, you're making offers in the dark and you don't really know, because you don't want to pay too much. But let's say you really want that house and the offers you're making just aren't realistic. There's a good chance somebody else is going to get that house, and you would have happily paid more if you knew what the right price was, but because you did it, you ended up losing the house. And that's the biggest thing that I worry about, is the regret. You could have got the house that you wanted, but because you didn't have representation, you're just trying to do everything, and that's not what your forte is. That's what the realtor's forte is.
So, and then I think the next step of the process is, once we do get that home under contract, the realtor's job doesn't just end there. But I like to stay with my clients and kind of guide them through construction, and I'm there with them through that process as well. And knowing when to have inspections done, and, being an extra set of eyes and just trying to help them answer questions and kind of be that buffer between them and the builder throughout the process.
So again, as a realtor, you're going to have certain relationships with builders, and the reality is you probably have clients who have built with those builders before, and you've learned from what those clients have been through. So you've learned, you know what, you may want to ask for this. Hey, you know what, you may want to get this inspected, because you've been through that with those clients before.
Right.
But again, in reality is, if you're working with the right sales professional, from the beginning to closing, the realtor and the sales professionals are working together in the best interest of the buyer and the best interest of the builder. So as a sales professional, one of the things that I always did was, when I informed my buyer, I informed my realtor at the same time, right? Because now, again, if as a sales professional, what I want to do is, I want to give you guys so much information that you don't have to call, right? I want to anticipate what you're going to need. I want to anticipate on keeping you comfortable, prepared, and really in the know. So I should be giving you information. I should be calling you 30 days before closing and telling you, listen, 30 days before completion, and tell you, listen, we're 30 days from completion. We need to make final amendments. We need to, we're planning on closing on this day. Is there anything else that you're going to want or need before then? So that proper communication is what's needed. And again, that's what the relationship with having a realtor who has relationships with builders can do, is to help have that proper communication.
I wish every builder felt that way and followed through that way. There's definitely a lack of communication by the part of quite a few out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of salespeople. There's not a lot of sales professionals, right? One of the things that we talk about is that you should have 4 sales strategies, right? You should have a strategy on how to gain new customers. And what I call gain new customers are people who are in your circle of influence. As a sales professional, I talk about the people who walk through the door, people who phone in. That's within my circle of influence. You should have a strategy on retaining clients. So once they're under contract, how do we get them to closing? Unfortunately, a lot of salespeople, and honestly, a lot of realtors, they don't have a retention strategy. They just have oh my God, there's a problem, what do we do? Whereas if they were working on a strategy of retention all the way through, then we can meet those problems before they get there.
Right.
And so again, that is the point of having a great realtor and a great sales professional, is because they've been through these processes before. And because of that, they know where the speed bumps are, and they can smooth them over before we get there.
Right. So how are things with Perry Homes these days?
Interesting enough, obviously, we're talking right now. You see that I'm at home. I see that you're at home. So, we're going through COVID-19 type issues. But you want to hear something remarkable? I just looked at our numbers and compared yesterday. I didn't look at them today, but compared to last year, we have sold just as many homes as of May 3rd this year, the exact same amount of homes May 3rd this year as we did last year. So it's remarkable that even through this pandemic that we've been going through, and let's be honest, we had geared up and forecasted to sell a lot more.
Right.
But at least we didn't sell less. So we're
you're holding on.
Yeah, we're on par to what we have been doing. So there's a couple of things that I attribute that to, and honestly, one of the things I attribute that to is the pandemic. What I mean by that is people have been stuck at home, and the more that you're stuck at home, the more that one thing that you really don't like bothers you. And also, so it gives people more reason. People who always talk about, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It gives them reason to go out and do it because they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Another thing is it gives people the time, right? One of the biggest issues is our professionals that we work with, they're busy people. They don't have time to go out. Well,
they do now.
Yeah, COVID-19 has given them time. So while traffic has definitely been a lot lighter, the quality of traffic has actually been better. So, we're not hitting where we want to be, but we're definitely moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and the 2.5% interest rates don't hurt either.
Exactly. Get it now, right?
Yeah, get it while you can. Get it while it's still there. Yeah, anything you're sitting under 3%, it's amazing right now. So,
Yeah.
so you guys, at a point in the beginning of this pandemic, you said that you were kind of slowing down on starting inventory production. You were going to finish the inventory that you had. Obviously, you're finishing all of the homes that you have under contract, and you weren't going to start any new homes unless they were under contract.
Correct.
Has that changed at all, or is it about that same strategy?
That's a great question. I think that is now while that was a company decision, I
Mm-hmm.
think now that has come down to a division decision. So I've seen some divisions where they have started up on inventories, even
Gotcha.
for homes that aren't on sale. And it's not startup because there are a number of homes that are under inventory. We
Mm-hmm.
just didn't move to the next step.
Gotcha.
And so obviously they're planning their future closes, and the reality is a lot of buyers buy once the home is complete because they can see it, walk through it. So
Right.
now they're gearing up toward it. So it's really division by division discussion. So I wish I had a more clear answer, but I've seen a little bit of everything. But I know that as of this past Friday with Governor Abbott kind of starting to ramp things back up, I know that has been a priority for us. I think different communities and counties are having different rules, so I think that's part of the holdup. Yay, Harris County!
There you go. All right. Well, thanks, John. I appreciate it. Always good to talk.
Aaron, it's always great to talk to you. And again, shameless plug for you. I've known you, Aaron, for, man, it's funny to say over 20, 25 years, something.
It's actually over 30.
Over 30. Wow, man. Yeah,
I know. It's actually over 30.
Yeah.
That's crazy to say. It's
over 30 years. And I definitely think helping people is your calling. So
thanks, man. That's what I love to do.
Work with the Greeley Group is definitely in great hands. So if there's anything that we can do for you or any of your clients, let me know, buddy. I'm always here for you.
Always. I appreciate it, John. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Bye.